All right, folks, it is finally time to get started on the chassis on Project Ronnie. Took a long time to get chassis parts. Finally have everything here. We got us a bunch of metalworking stuff, cut off wheels, air hammers, pliers, and ox. Me and Cordwood are about to get busy working on this thing. First thing we got to do, we already got the differential out from under it. First thing we got to do is get these 3,000 chassis rivets that hold on the leaf spring hangers, cross members, all that stuff in here. It's going to be a rusty mess. Let's get going.
Shot all the way across. Oops. Let's not shoot it that way.
Alright. So, I got my 3 done. Now, get all the rest of this shit done. We'll stay tuned.
Call me when it's done.
Alright, folks, we got the chassis skint back. Fixing to start notching the frame right here. We got to do, we got a template we made. Got everything marked. We're about to rough it in with a torch, and then we'll grind it back smooth. Ready for a track. That's how you get the job done.
What's going on, Ken?
All right, we got our chassis C-notch. Got our C-notch kit pre-fitted. Everything, all the holes are drilled. Now we got to kind of take it off and do a little bit of cleanup action, but she's coming along. Give you guys a peek of what we got going on the back side of Project Ronnie. Starting to come together a little bit. As you would expect, nothing fits, nothing works, nothing remotely will ever fit, but
bolt in with extreme modification.
Yeah, bolt in with extreme modification, but we got it bolted in there. We're actually going to weld it in there. I'm not going to take it back out. As you can see, we got our notch in there pretty good. Got to clean it up, got to do a little painting, and then these front brackets, none of that fits, but we're going to get her piled in there. And then we're getting ready, got everything loose on the chassis up here. We're getting ready to work on the front cross member. So this will be the first time we try to set it up in there. Don't know if it'll work or not. I'll never tell you nothing that's not for your own good.
See, like, we're trying to do this with truck assembled, and then the instructions, they got a bare frame. So,
all right, we're gonna have to take the fenders off. If this looks like slightly sketchy, it's because it is. All right, so we couldn't get the doors and the fenders off where it was out on the lift, so we just used a little timber, a little floor jack action. I mean, it's probably fine. So we had a little issue right here with our front frame rails where the front cross member couldn't slide up over the chassis because of the 2 spots on the front of the frame that were sticking out. It had a hole, I suppose, you think a brake line or something?
Brake line went into it. Yeah.
Brake line, yeah. So we sawed this unit out. We're gonna fill it with a piece of round metal, weld it up, and then we should hopefully be able to, after 96 hours, bolt up the cross member. All right, folks, after about 8,000 to 9,000 hours, we have most of our suspension parts for Project Ronnie fitted. Nothing is ready to be assembled yet. Nothing is done, but most of the holes are drilled. The chassis is cut where it had to be cut to make all the components fit, and it's looking pretty good. We're gonna keep going down this rabbit hole and try to get most of the chassis stuff fitted up. We can do some painting, do some powder coating, and start actually assembling this thing so that we can get working on something else. This would be a really good time to put an orifice tube in the old AC unit. So she's getting there. Definitely, we got to drill about 27 more holes, do a little bit more welding and fabbing, but she's starting to resemble a performance unit. All right, we have what appears to be suspension. Oh yes. How's that thing gonna knock me down? Like
it won't look like.
Oh yeah, I guess if it gets up there, we got more serious problems.
I think you're gonna have some. Yeah, your shock will be like, no, sorry, that's all you got.
Yeah, it should be about Yes.
If you're getting up there, you're like Baja and jumping or something.
Might have to do some Baja.
Might be doing wheelies and then coming down from a wheelie. You need to put some wheelies
You
on
know
it.
you're gonna have to do a wheel stand. Oh my goodness. Things starting to look good. Got a little cleanup of our C-notch going on right here. Testing out a little bit of paint action. Ronnie's starting to look like a skinny mini. All right, folks, as most projects do, Project Ronnie is turning into like a creation of its own. So in the beginning, I was gonna knock a little rust off, put like a carburetor on the motor and get going, then we start to lose control. And what happens is the further you get down this road, the more you want to do. So now we got the bed off of it. We got the rear chassis C-notched. We got all the front suspension kind of fitted on there, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's only a couple more bolts to take the cab off. Let's go ahead and frame off and do this deal. So we're fixing to knock the cab off this thing, drag the chassis outside, get it cleaned up, get it painted, and make it look a little more sporty. She's gonna be rusty on the top. She's gonna be a hot rod down below. Let's get going. Got the cab off the unit. Next step is to try to get the chassis outside. Originally I was going to leave it all rusty, but I can't really do that. So I'm going to take some crap off of it here, and then we're going to figure out how to get it outside so we can either wire wheel it or soda blast it. Nitro, you got anything to say about this project? Well, all right, now we can work on the old girl. All right, we got our old chassis here sandblasted, wire wheeled where we couldn't get the sandblaster. We done flipped her in here, and she's got her first coat of epoxy paint on there. Got a little bit left to go here, but she's looking good. Cord's very excited about this project. What do you think, Cord?
Super excited. Thing looks like it rolled off the showroom floor in 1974.
Boom, this thing's gonna be good. All right, folks, as you can see, episode 4 of Project Ronnie has been a lot of work. We've got all of our suspension components fitted. We got our chassis. We ended up taking off the body just because these things are a rabbit hole, and when you start digging the hole, you don't ever know how deep you're gonna go, and I'm kind of losing control on the project and wanting to do too much. Chassis looks good, everything is fitted. We're getting ready to assemble this thing. In episode 5, we're gonna get this thing rolling around, and we're gonna start working on some horsepower. Thank you guys, and we'll see you soon.